It's Friday, October 28th, and this is now on HNN.
The suspect has been identified.
We've learned the intruder who attacked House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband in their San Francisco home was searching for the Democratic leader.
We'd like to know where the lead contamination is.
Oahu's only public shooting range is closed indefinitely as an investigation into possible lead contamination begins.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas sooner than ever. I'm Bradley Blackburn with some of the reasons why the season is kicking off so early this year.
Have a ton of inventory.
These stories plus quick costume ideas you can make with things you have in your home right now. That's coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon. Thanks for watching. This Is Now. Want to take you live now to San Francisco. We have a chopper feed coming into us right now as we speak. A plane has landed there in San Francisco, believed to be carrying the Speaker of the House. Of course, if you haven't heard already, a man is in police custody at this hour, charged with severely beating the husband of Nancy Pelosi. She's heading back to San Francisco right now to visit him in the hospital. That's what you're seeing unfold in this live picture.
That's right. The attack happened at their San Francisco home this morning. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was in Washington when it happened. Chris Pallone has the latest details.
Police say they went to Speaker Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco home around 2:30 in the morning after getting a call requesting a wellness check. Inside, they found the Speaker's husband, Paul Pelosi, struggling with an intruder.
Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it.
Officers tackled Pelosi's attacker and arrested him. They say he's 42-year-old David DePape.
The motive for this attack is still being determined.
But while the investigation continues, a source says DePape shouted, "Where is Nancy?" as he confronted Paul Pelosi, and a family member tells NBC News the suspect told Paul Pelosi he was going to tie him up and wait for Nancy. Paul Pelosi was able to dial 911 when the suspect wasn't looking.
At the point that law enforcement understands that that was the motive, assaulting Nancy Pelosi, this will very likely become a federal investigation with the FBI taking the lead.
Political leaders from both sides of the aisle have reached out to the Speaker to offer support. In a statement, the White House press secretary said the president is praying for Paul Pelosi and for Speaker Pelosi's whole family, adding the president continues to condemn all violence. And Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said he was horrified and disgusted by the attack. The assault comes as threats against members of Congress have been on the increase.
I don't care what party you are. I don't want to see anybody I know, Republican, Democrat, or far right, far left, hurt. And we all have to stand up to it.
Despite being severely beaten, Paul Pelosi is expected to recover. DePape is being held on several state charges, including attempted homicide and assault with a deadly weapon, while Speaker Pelosi has around-the-clock security protection. Her family members do not. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
This story new at noon. The CDC says the flu season has ramped up early across the U.S. and flu hospitalizations are worse than usual for this time of year. It's been more than a decade since flu hospitalization rates have been this high at this point of the season. According to the CDC estimates, there have been at least 880,000 illnesses, nearly 7,000 hospitalizations, and 360 deaths from the flu in the U.S. so far. The first pediatric death in the U.S. was reported this week. The CDC data shows flu activity is highest in the South, and data from Walgreens that tracks prescriptions and antiviral treatments suggests there's hotspots in the Gulf Coast area, including Houston and New Orleans.
Chinese state media is reporting that the COVID situation in Tibet is improving and most areas are returning to normal. Now that comes after people in Lhasa held a rare protest after more than 70 days of COVID lockdown measures. Christy Lou Stout has more.
Video evidence has emerged of a rare protest in the Tibetan capital of Lhasa. On Wednesday, residents took to the streets angry and furious over a harsh COVID-19 lockdown that's been in place for more than 70 days. And these are the videos that have been circulating on social media. In this one, a large group of people are gathering in an alley. They are surrounded by pandemic workers in hazmat suits and police and special forces holding shields. And in another video, a policeman is heard on a loudspeaker saying, "The epidemic is controllable. Please understand our work. Go back. Don't gather here." Now, CNN has geolocated the videos to the Cheongwan district in Lhasa, but we cannot verify who took the images. We've also reached out to the local police department, but we're not able to reach them. Now, the demonstration in Tibet comes just weeks after video emerged of that brazen protest in Beijing that directly attacked China's zero COVID policy. One banner read in part, "No to lockdown, yes to freedom." Now, China's zero COVID policy, this policy of mass testing, lockdowns, and border controls, have disrupted both lives and livelihoods. But to Beijing, the policy is necessary to save lives and to protect China's medical systems. At the start of the 20th Party Congress, Chinese leader Xi Jinping reaffirmed his commitment to zero COVID, saying this, quote, "We have adhered to the supremacy of the people and the supremacy of life, adhered to dynamic zero COVID." Last month, CNN counted more than 70 Chinese cities placed either under full or partial COVID lockdowns in a period of a couple of weeks, affecting more than 300 million people. And as we're now seeing in Tibet, anger is rising against China's zero COVID policy, but Beijing is refusing to change course. Christy Lou Stout, CNN, Hong Kong.
There was that meeting on the Big Island last night regarding that seismic activity everyone's keeping a close eye on. Let's get an update on what happened from our Casey Lund. He filed this report.
Good afternoon from Kilauea. We're going to provide you with an update on this ongoing eruption in just a moment. But first, a very important message. There is no imminent threat still of an eruption at Mauna Loa. But we want to talk a little bit about what's happening up there. And David Phillips is with us. He's the deputy scientist in charge for HVO USGS. David. And since we have this beautiful view of Mauna Loa, which again is not erupting, there's no imminent eruption. We're being clear about that. But walk us through some of the previous flows. And at last night's meeting in Pahala, one of your scientists really reassured people that any eruption would very much likely stay at the summit, correct?
Yes, that's correct. And again, it was great having the community come out to learn more about this last night in Pahala and other things we're doing. In this beautiful, clear day today, you can see the massive profile of Mauna Loa. So the summit right up there at the top, and you can't see it from here, but there's a crater, caldera, just like we have here at Kilauea. And all of the eruptions in historic times since 1843 have started with an eruption at the summit. About half of those eruptions just stayed in the summit, didn't go anywhere else, didn't pose any hazards to people living on the island. About half of the other flows, though, tend to go down the two rift zones of Mauna Loa. What we're looking at in this profile here is the northeast rift zone coming down like that, and you can see along the profile all these little bumps. And those are vents. And what typically happens with a Mauna Loa eruption, so it'll start at the summit, if it goes down one of the rift zones, some people call it unzipping, but it'll work its way down and then it'll start to erupt from one of these vents along the rift zones. And from there, the lava will flow down the steep slopes of Mauna Loa. And you can see that, you can see these dark areas coming down. These are all hundreds to thousands of years making up the slows, but that's the general pattern that we see and that what we would expect to see in a future eruption.
Very good. Now let's talk about Kilauea. We'll come over here. And I just want to say, since I was here from the last event, this lava lake has grown considerably.
It's grown considerably. Just so the current lava lake that we're looking right now, this eruption started on September 29th of last year, 2021. So it's just over a year old right now. And so it's continuing to fill the crater that collapsed in 2018 within Halemaumau. And so that crater, you might remember, after the dramatic events of 2018, was over 1,600 feet deep. It was so deep it was below the water table, and you might even remember we had a freshwater lake in here for a while. And of course, in December 2020, that eruption boiled away that water lake. And ever since that time, liquid magma has been coming up and filling this crater to what it is now. And like you said, every time you come up and see up here, you can see that it's getting higher and higher. And it's come up almost 500 feet since September 29th of last year.
That's absolutely amazing. David Phillips with us from USGS. A reminder from National Park Service that the summit trail to Mauna Loa is closed for folk safety. But as you can see, there is still plenty to take in here at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Reiterating, though, that there is no imminent threat of an eruption at Mauna Loa. On Hawaii Island, I'm Casey Lund. For now, we'll send things back to you.
Environmental groups are demanding answers on the contamination at the Coco Head shooting complex. The City Parks Department confirmed that 9 staff members have elevated levels of lead in their blood. None of them are physically ill, but they've all been transferred to other locations. The city also said it's hired an environmental consultant. Its berm reconstruction project that was set to start a month ago has not started, and there's no telling when the range will reopen.
It's a really serious issue that needs to be addressed.
The situation raises a question as to the safety of other areas that are being used as firing range sites.
Council Chair Tommy Waters said in a statement he was, quote, shocked by the Parks Department's admission and that he's working on a resolution to examine the safety policies and procedures for park staff at the shooting range, as well as an update on long-term safety measures. Well, the truth is out there, and soon it will be in the hands of Congress. Intelligence agencies are set to deliver a classified document on the status of UFOs. Isabel Rosales joins us now with more on that. Hey, Isabel.
Hey, Ashley. We have certainly seen those viral videos of fighter jets seeing just mysterious objects in the sky, inexplicable objects in the sky that has sparked international interest and has fueled all sorts of theories. Well, now, according to a New York Times article, the government has answers to many of those sightings, and it's not aliens.
Science stranger than fiction, but these are very real images from the Department of Defense of an unidentified flying object. Or more officially, unidentified aerial phenomena spotted by pilots, including retired Lieutenant Commander Alex Diedrich.
Enter stage left, the tic-tac.
Off the coast of San Diego back in 2004.
It was white, it was sort of a matte finish, just like a tic-tac. And it behaved in a way that we were surprised, unnerved. It accelerated, or it almost didn't accelerate, right? It sort of jumped from spot to spot and tumbled around in a way that was unpredictable.
A report made public last year said there was no evidence that the sightings were extraterrestrial, but detailed how little was known about sightings like this.
Oh my gosh, dude.
NASA has announced its own independent study, and now Congress is set to receive an updated report from the Pentagon and intelligence agencies. While it's not clear how much of the classified document will be made public, according to the New York Times, it will find that most of the cases are random junk in the sky, like balloons or surveillance activity.
So if they're seeing something and they're saying they don't understand it, so that will make the average person go, oh, there must be something real and significant here.
And Ashley, this is the military government side of things, but there is a NASA team made up of 16 scientists currently studying those UFOs, and it has a variety of disciplines. These scientists, astrobiology, data science, genetics, planetary science. On the team is also retired astronaut Scott Kelly, a former fighter pilot. That study should take about 9 months.
Isabel, why all the secrecy?
Right. Why all of this secrecy about UFOs with the government? Well, Congress was briefed on some of the conclusions from the Pentagon's report, but a large majority of the Pentagon's work still remains classified, is still a secrecy. And the reason behind that is in large part that they do not want China, other countries, to know that they have uncovered their attempts to spy on our military. They've wanted that to remain a secret. But that secrecy does come at a cost. With the New York Times writing, secrecy allows conspiracy theories about government lies to thrive unchecked. Right here is a comment from Sue Goh, spokeswoman of the Defense Department. She told the New York Times that the Pentagon remains committed to principles of openness, but it has to balance that with its obligation to protect sensitive information, sources, and methods. Ashley.
All right, Isabel Rosales joining us from our nation's capital. We appreciate the time.
Oh, it's our favorite time of the
Yes.
year. Right around the corner. Yep, Halloween. And do you have your costume ready? We're getting there, right?
Yeah, we sure are.
Yeah, I did a Party City run last night. But if you don't, here's some ideas for you. We found on CNN.com some DIY ideas you can make from things in your home. So check this out. How about an angel? Coffee filters. Make a great pair of wings. I also saw an example of cupcake wrappers, shiny ones, making a mermaid tail.
Cute.
Yep. All right, so pig in a blanket, So pink felt makes for great pig ears. Okay. This is our safari leader. So those empty toilet paper rolls make great binoculars, and you can easily craft a vest out of a grocery store bag, a paper one, brown paper. And then moving on, Saturn. I felt like this one was a bit of a stretch, but some acrylic paint on an old sweatshirt and some hula hoops, put some glitter on some pants. You got a costume. Last minute one there. And then finally, I said this is for Guy Hoggy. It's raining cats and dogs in here. Yeah, just get some rain gear, umbrella, and then put some stuffed animal cats and dogs on top. You got yourself a costume there. And Ashley's got some local kind costumes.
Yeah, I love these. So we don't have pictures, but here's a list Honolulu Magazine made of these local kind last minute DIY ideas. A Hawaiian Airlines logo, Pualani.
Yeah.
Auntie Marialani, I love that one. That's, of course, the beloved character from Raps Hawaii. Not too sweet, not too rancid. Aloha shoyu bottle. Things found in the alawai. You can get creative with that because, yeah.
You can get really creative with that one, my friends.
And don't forget, you guys, Halloween and This Is Now's anniversary right around the corner. So we're putting on our third This Is Now virtual costume contest. Upload your best costume pics to hawaiinewsnow.com through 1 p.m. today. Jonathan and I are going to pick the 6 finalists, and then we're going to throw those all onto social media. And then the top 3 photos with the most likes on our Instagram page will be declared the winners. We're going to announce them next Monday on This Is Now at noon. And the top 3 winners will receive $100 gift cards to Strip Steak and Moani Waikiki at the International Marketplace.
Yum. Getting excited.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I love this season. And I'm excited to see your costume.
Same.
And mine is still in progress, so we'll see if it happens. All right, taking you live outside. Look at that, Las Vegas right now. It is 61 degrees in Las Vegas compared to our 71 degrees here at home. So what is that Halloween forecast gonna be like? Only one person knows. That's Guy Hoggy. Nothing spooky here.
We could see some heavy downpours today, especially for windward sides, but there will be some spots when we will see no rain at all, especially for leeward areas. Like take tomorrow night, for example, should be pretty nice, except for the east end of the state. And then on Sunday, those showers will continue to come in to those windward areas, especially the east end of the state. And then for Halloween, fewer showers. By Halloween, things should dry up, but not totally dry. Notice the model says that by the afternoon, there's still going to be some showers for the east end as well as over on Kauai. And then through the night, we're not going to see much more than a few light splashes. Although by Wednesday, it looks like we're going to see a few more showers come in about that time. But that's at the end of the forecast period, so there's a little bit more uncertainty with that. So we're pretty certain that we'll see scattered showers through the weekend. Again, leeward sides might not see much, but there will be some passing downpours from time to time.
Christmas comes but once a year, but it seems like it's coming earlier and earlier every year. So what's the reason for that? Here's Bradley Blackburn to explain.
At the American Christmas Warehouse in Mount Vernon, New York, Christmas can't come earlier because it never ends. All year, they prepare high-end holiday displays for clients in 30 states and some of New York City's most iconic spaces.
We're doing Radio City Music Hall, Saks Fifth Avenue, Cartier, Macy's, and many, many office buildings and retailers.
CEO Dan Castorella says these installations are now so complex they can take weeks, and they have to start putting them up, yes, before Halloween. The decorating is happening right now.
Right now. Everything on the floor is getting ready to go out.
All across the country, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas earlier than ever this year. Near Los Angeles, this outlet mall tree arrived in October. In Houston, Bo's already wrapping buildings.
My first reaction was, wow, isn't it a little too early?
I don't even have my pumpkins out, and they've gone straight to Christmas.
Some experts say retailers are responding to consumers who are starting holiday shopping now in part due to inflation.
They're afraid that as it gets closer to Christmas, it'll cost just a little bit more.
Another reason you're seeing all those lights and ornaments on sale, there's a glut of them. Last year, supply chain problems meant holiday stock arrived too late. So some stores are now selling 2 Christmases of decorations.
I think to their surprise and also to their chagrin, they have a ton of inventory.
So my expectation is that you'll probably be seeing a lot of sales probably in the next month or so.
Ready or not, Christmas time is here again right now. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Mount Vernon, New York.
I agree. Too early. I was walking through Macy's, saw a bunch of decorations.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, earlier I showed you a picture of Los Angeles. I said Las Vegas. I know the difference. I promise. Look at that traffic, though.
I was
Yikes.
like looking for I don't know, the pyramid or something.
My bad. All right. Moving on, and this also involves cars and stuff, and art. A piece of art from the late Andy Warhol is up for grabs. If someone has some deep pockets, it's called White Disaster, and it shows a duplicated black and white image of an automobile accident. Warhol created the 12-foot tall, 6-foot wide silkscreen print in 1963. And this is all part of a series he did. It could sell for $80 million.
Wow.
Auction scheduled for November 16th, just in time for Ashley to get it for me for Christmas. Thank you very much.
Jeez.
I'm a Warhol fan.
Yeah. Well, the end of the month is coming up, and that means Honolulu Pride Month is almost over. And today we want to look back at some of the stories and people who helped us celebrate love and equality. Dylan Ancheta has the recap.
A month-long celebration comes to an end. We highlighted the LGBTQ+ community today while looking back at the generations that built the foundation. We also dove into cultural history unknown to so many. Hawaii News Now was honored to be warmly welcomed at the grand return of the Pride Parade, where we saw so many smiling faces. To anyone struggling with self-identity, we offer this advice.
It doesn't matter what your weight is, your height is, the color of your skin tone, what you identify as, who you choose to love. I think that you are perfect just the way you are, and the most important thing you can do is believe in yourself and love yourself enough to know that there will be better days.
Just believe in yourself. You were created to be the person that you are, the way that you are. It's just who you are. And just be that person. Believe in yourself. Don't listen to what society or anybody else has to say about it. Just listen to your own heart, your own intuitions about being who you are, and you'll be fine.
It takes some people longer than others. Some people, it's immediate.
Gender is fluid, and we're always changing and we're adjusting. But no matter what, I'm still loving that person. Just let them know that you love them. It's not the appearance as much as it is what's here, what's in my now. Sexuality is fluid. It's always changing. This is the way you may feel today. This is where you're going to be 5 years from now. Gender is almost, I say fluid, but it's so spiritual. It's huge. And I think within Hawaiian culture, they got it right.
Dylan Ancheta, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you very much, Dylan, for putting together those Pride stories for us this year for This Is Now. Want to remind everyone one last time, you have about 35 minutes to get online and submit your Halloween costume contest. I know it's early, but we have to pick our finalists early so we can have the winners on Monday. So get online, submit your photos for our costume contest, and you could win some cool prizes.
We have some good ones already?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
I don't want to give away anything. That's it for This Is Now, guys. Happy Aloha Friday.
Woo-hoo!
We've made it. Yes, Ash is back first at 4. You're almost there, Ash.
Have a safe Halloween, everyone.
Bye.